Good morning, everybody. I think we're going to call today's video Plans Change. I had a bad night. It's one of those things that happens. I don't sleep very well. Occasionally my medicines don't work. And when that happens, then whatever I have planned for the next day, I have to adapt and I have to change. So let's say I'm very clean this morning because I've had approximately 4 showers during the night. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I find that if I get in a warm shower, it eases the pressure on my bones and it helps. So when in doubt and frustrated and not knowing what to do, I'll often go and just sit in the shower. So I'm lovely and clean today, so I don't have to worry. If only I had a ball to go to. Anyway, I'm a real planner. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a real planner. I'll put everything on a list just for the pleasure of crossing it off. Get up in the morning. Check. I'm above the ground. Check. All those things. Anyway, I've just decided that today has to be an easier day. Now, as my day goes on, I'm open to it turning completely around and having a wonderful day. And then I'll add lots of things to my to-do list. But I don't want to feel guilty at the end of the day if I haven't gotten them all done. So my to-do list today starts as always. And the first thing on my list says A-Linker. A lot of people don't know what an A-Linker is. A-Linker is my mode of transportation that I love. Very hard for me to use, but I love it and it's very good for me. And I am going to do a video about it so everybody can see what it's like. But it's like a bicycle from Fred Flintstone ages. There's no pedals. Your feet have to do all of the work. So it's a very interesting situation. You're sort of standing up with your feet on the ground, but the seat is raised up so that you do have it under your bottom. And then you go walk with this machine that has one wheel at the back and 2 wheels at the front. So you're stable, but you have to walk. Like for somebody like myself who, if I leave the apartment, has to go into a wheelchair, this is a way for me to not have to rely on somebody else to push me in a wheelchair. I can get on this A-Linker, be up at the height of everybody else because I am standing. They're not looking down on me, and I can go. I'm not very good at it. So therefore, I haven't left my floor of the apartment building yet. So I'm not exactly traveling very far, but it's good for me. It's exercise and it's great. So I start at the top of my list every day saying A-Linker. Now, that means I'm going to do that when I'm having good time. And when I'm having good time, I go, oh, I've got good time, let's get the A-Linker done. If I leave it till later in the day, it gets less likely to be done. So I try to do that as early as I can. The next thing that I have on my list is my gratitude journal. My daughter and I are doing this, and we make it fun. We use the little Snapchat filters and make our faces all distorted and whatnot, and we tape 3 things every day that we're grateful for, and then we send the video back and forth. We generally send the video in the middle of the night so the other person can get it when they wake up in the morning. And it's lots of fun, and it's interesting to see how quickly you run out of things that you think you're grateful for, and then you have to really think. And then you realize after you get to that thinking stage, there are so many things to be grateful for. And it's really hard to be down on yourself when you realize how fortunate you really are. Now, the next thing on my list, I've got YouTube. I always try to do that now fairly early in the day. But this is all new to me, so I don't know how that's going to fit in. Today, I have no choice. I have to get a B12 injection. My daughter does that. She comes over to the house and does that for me. So that doesn't change whether it's a good day or a bad day. She comes and she does that. Now, dinner. If this was a really good day, I had planned on cooking country ribs and potatoes and onions and whatnot roasted in the oven. I could tell when I hadn't had very much sleep that I'm not going to feel at supper time like getting that done. I'll often prepare earlier in the day and warm up at supper time, but I didn't want to put that pressure on myself. So the package of country ribs is in the fridge. We're going to do a takeaway dinner tonight, and then the country ribs will be cooked tomorrow. Now, if today changes around and I'm feeling wonderful at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, those ribs will get put in the oven, and we'll do that today. So it's just to manage to be flexible with those things. And I think that's important in anybody's life, but it's really important in somebody's life who can't guarantee what the day is going to bring. Now, I'm not defeatist, because just because you have a bad night doesn't automatically say you have a bad day. Not at all. It could be a wonderful day today. Gotta hope that it will be. But if it's not, then I'm prepared. So that's just how I look at it. Now, that wasn't what I was planning on saying today, but that's kind of where I'm at. It's the middle of the night. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's actually more morning than night. It's going to be a nice warm day today, but there's going to be a smoke advisory still. The province next to us is on fire, and the smoke has been blowing this direction. So the air quality hasn't been great. It doesn't affect me in the apartment, but if I was to want to go outside for any length of time, that would be a consideration. It's been very warm, but today is supposed to be a little bit cooler. If my daughter comes over, she is likely going to say to me, let's go out. Now, we have a choice when we go out. We can just sit at a table that's out front of our apartment building and enjoy the time out there. Or we have in our apartment, out the back, we have lovely gardens that anybody who lives in the apartments are welcome to garden and put in vegetables or flowers or whatever. And the gardens are lovely, and there's a few chairs and benches and whatnot out in the gardens, and there's always people around. So if you want to visit with somebody or just enjoy the surroundings, you can go out there and do that. Or sometimes she brings the dog and she says, come on, the dog and I are taking you for a walk, and she just gets a hold of the wheelchair and away we go. I never know where we're going to go. We went off-roading one day in a wheelchair. If you can picture this, fields, trees, roots. We're four-wheeling it with my wheelchair. Get to the top of a hill with a lovely pathway at the bottom. And she says, let's go down the hill. I said, Claudine, I'm a large woman. I said, I'm in a chair. You're going to start me down the hill. There's going to be a calamity at the bottom. I said, it's like mass in motion. I'm going to be flying down this hill. She says, oh, we'll be fine. Young people, we'll be fine. She starts me down. Well, next thing, her little legs are running to keep up with the chair. She didn't coat me over, but I wasn't sure I wasn't going to wind up on the road. But she didn't coat me over. We got to the bottom. She said, well, it was a little steeper than I thought. I said to her, you and I get into the darndest predicaments, don't we? But anyway, we had a good time and had some fresh air and a laugh or two. We've had a few laughs in our day. But anyway, so I don't know what the day will bring, but I'm thinking that it's going to be a good one. I'm planning on it being a good one, but I'm prepared if it's not. So I hope you all have a good one. Take care.